Hello, this is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Today's video is a continuation of yesterday's video, but now it's all 4 passes using the information that was on the Dateline episode regarding the surveillance footage. I wish they had put more, but they did put some on there. Unfortunately, they didn't incorporate the 1330 Linda Lane camera footage, which is absolutely critical in the case. It shows the vehicle driving behind. It's a continuation of each of the passes. It absolutely shows that that's the same vehicle. A lot of the Kohbergers out there say that the car driving back behind 500 Queen Road is a different vehicle, yet it's there exactly and precisely each time that the Elantra is seen on 1112 King Road. So here is a map of what I'm going to... So this right here is a map of the 1122 King Road area. Red is 1122 King Road. This is 1119 right here. And this is 1127. And this one right here is 1112. This is the building that has all the camera footage. Picks up multiple significant lighting events, vehicles, etc., and absolutely is a crucial camera. So the vehicle generally comes in each time, comes around like this on the Queen Road, goes back behind 500 Queen Road, and then comes out back here, and then parks. It parks for over a minute on the first loop, parks for maybe 20 seconds or so on loop number 2 and 3, and then 13 minutes on loop number 4, or I guess people call them passes. Parks for about 13 minutes on that one, and that's when all the homicides took place of Ethan Chapin, Xander Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez on November 13th, 2022. I think the homicides took place between 4:10 and 4:17-ish, maybe closer to 4:18, so within an 8-minute window. So what we're going to do is play the video, and I'm not going to pause it or anything. I'm just going to make comments as it's playing. Alright, so let's get started on that video right now. Alright, so this is pass number 1. The vehicle is seen driving from inside the car down King Road, south, and then turning left, which is east onto Queen Road. Right now it's passing 1112, now 1122, the homicide address, and this is behind 500 Queen Road right here. Now you can see just by watching this that Kohberger obviously had been out here multiple times scouting out this little back door to the residence. I'm not sure why, if you had them scoped out, why would you even go to another apartment complex? You wouldn't even assume that it would come back here. Perhaps he parked behind the house one night and checked out what that road does and was surprised that it came back out onto Queen Road around, so maybe he incorporated that. But here the vehicle is going to park, and it parked at 3:31:24, and it sits here for over a minute. So on the first pass, I think that was somewhat of a dry run. He parked the vehicle right here. Now some people suggest maybe it's on one of these passes where he set up some of his blood spatter mitigation. Maybe he got out of the car, put a plastic bag with some other items in it, maybe on the ground in this area. We just don't know. But I mean, a minute 20 the vehicle sits here on the first pass. So I think that the vehicle takes off here at 3:32 and around 44 seconds. But it's at least over a minute. So here is 24, which was a minute after when it stopped. And it had to have stopped back here because the timing of it when it comes back out and passes the 1112 King Road camera absolutely suggests that. There's no, I mean, what, unless he drove like a half mile an hour all the way around. I guess that's possible. So there he goes, 332.44. It looked like it took off. Makes his way to Queen Road, heads west, and then it should be picked up on the surveillance camera. And there's a look from inside the vehicle again. Sigma Chi is right in front of King Road, straight shot. And the vehicle's turning onto Taylor Avenue. Now, right at that trailer in front of us, Taylor Avenue becomes Willanta Drive. And right up here, right before it turns left, that's when the camera on 1112 King Road can pick up this vehicle through the trees behind 1119 King Road, as I pointed out earlier. So this video is going to be a combination of, a look through my vehicle camera and surveillance footage. Now we're using this surveillance footage to, speed up through time, because I'm only showing surveillance footage and the movements of the vehicle inside the complex. All right, so right now we're at 10 times the speed, and then at 3:38, 35-ish, the vehicle enters back in on King Road, turns east onto Queen, passes 1112 King Road, that has the surveillance footage on it. Just to the right now, right at that little sign on the ground, that was the 1122 King Road, where the homicides took place, and again, this is 500 Queen Road. And on this pass, I'm driving kind of slow back there, but I make sure that the timing matches up with the surveillance footage. And there's the vehicle driving back there. And then it comes back behind 500 Queen Road again. Now you can see my headlights. At a certain point, right when it's turning, right around in here, the headlights would hit one of the buildings over there, and that was 1127 King Road. And then the vehicle parks again. Now, this time I'm just my vehicle's just sort of trickling a little bit, but it only kind of stays back here for maybe 20 seconds or so. It's possible it just drove really, really slow again, maybe 1-2 miles an hour down here. But looking at it like this, this seems pretty natural. Like it picks up speed, comes around the corner. Now we're on to Queen Road again. And then surveillance should pick it up again. And there it is. Now it's heading out on King Road towards Taylor and about to turn left onto Taylor. And again, that trailer up there is where it becomes Willanta Drive. And as I explained earlier, it has a short straightaway right here, and then just before it starts turning right here, you can see the vehicle on the camera that's on 1112 King Road behind 1119 King Road on Willanta Drive. So you can see the lights through the trees, and law enforcement used those visuals to keep tracking the vehicle. Now right here I'm doing a 10x speed again because there's a good 15-16 minutes of time where the vehicle is out driving around and about, and I think he's trying to kill time because he saw that the girls were likely still awake up in Madison's room, so he needed to kill time, and to control his urges he drove a little bit further away and just kept driving around, killing time, and then he's going to check back in around 3:56ish. He comes back into the area. And so I'm just using this actual camera time here to, kill that time. And this is 10x speed. And yes, there was a person walking back there. You could see them. That's at 3:51. Kohberger's in his car driving around. There are people that live in these apartments. Of course, whenever the Kohbergers see somebody like that, they want to do a full-scale investigation. The homicides haven't taken place yet. In fact, they don't take place for another 20 minutes or so. All right, here it comes back in for pass number 3, King Road. Now east on Queen. Right now it's passing the homicide residence, and it's going to be going behind 500 Queen Road now. And that building straight in front of us is number 52, so 500 Queen Road, number 52. And in the probable cause, that's where it says the vehicle does a 3-point turn. And here comes a vehicle behind. Pass number 3, you can see it. It's the same vehicle that has continued to drive around back behind there, given its height and look and sound. And here it is behind 500 Queen Road. And again, when the vehicle turns, the headlights hit the upper portion of 1127 King Road over there. Law enforcement can see it on the surveillance footage. And that likely indicates that the vehicle is turning. And again, on this pass, the vehicle only stops for 20, 25 seconds. This one might be a little longer than the second one, but definitely doesn't spend a lot of time there. Obviously does stop and slow down. He's still viewing. In that one, he probably could see that they were likely in bed and sleeping, so he's going to give it more time. So he's taking off right now. Now, interestingly, on this one, when he's leaving, there he is leaving. Takes a right here. And then when he makes it out to Taylor Avenue here, to the right, there must be the DoorDash driver is heading in that direction. He probably doesn't necessarily see it at this point, but while he's driving up here, I think he constantly looks over there, and I think he can see a vehicle right around in this area up here when he's driving. He may have even slowed down quite a bit up here, and he could see a vehicle coming in. He was probably monitoring the lights, and there's a vehicle. So what he does is he goes up and he does a U-turn there's a next street that comes up here, and he does a U-turn, and he turns around and he comes back, and then he sees that the DoorDash driver is still there, so he takes off and goes all the way around. He goes on Taylor Avenue, and he's seen on the Ridge Road camera, loops all the way back around, and then comes back into the area around 4:05-ish. So we're also speeding through this time frame here. But I think he did not go in because of the DoorDash driver, and because of the DoorDash driver, law enforcement ended up getting the great photograph without the front license plate. So here the vehicle is. This one they did not share the Elantra coming in on the surveillance footage. So I'm just using my footage for that portion, where the vehicle drives back here. And then right around 4:05 and like 28 seconds or so right here, that's where the surveillance camera picks up the vehicle coming around, entering into the area. Except this time it does a 3-point turn back here. And you can see it right underneath the AM next to Sunday up there. It might pull forward a little bit more. Actually, I think it already did that. Now it's backing up. And I actually have footage of me doing that, backing up, etc., but I didn't add that in. I'm just going to keep as much of the surveillance as I can. But when it goes around the corner here, I do pick it up with my camera inside my vehicle, driving that same direction down right here. I only did this 1 or 2 times, so I'm kind of fortunate to have found it. So it comes down here, and then I'm showing this again. And then in a moment here, you'll see it picked up on the surveillance footage. So it did kind of really slowly drive down there. It could have stopped, looked at the residence, probably looking through Xana's window or whatever. And now the vehicle's heading towards King and Queen. And then you'll see right here, there it is. It actually does another 3-point turn, not a U-turn. As the newer release documents say, it says it does a U-turn there, but it doesn't. It does a 3-point turn both behind Queen Road, number 52, and at King and Queen. So here it comes back again. This is its final pass. You know, pass number 4 is sort of like pass 4A and B, because it does something completely different. And the DoorDash driver is why it's doing something different. So here it comes back again behind there. It's going much quicker. You can just tell by looking at it. Comes around behind 500 Queen Road, heading west, and then it's going to park. And then I go back to the surveillance footage, and the clock ticks away. The lights are turned off, and now Kohberger's going inside the residence. I actually have it playing here, I believe, at a sort of a normal speed for up until 410. So I think that Kohberger likely was getting ready, preparing for any blood spatter that might got on his clothing, and that's what he's doing right now. He doesn't go into the house immediately after parking. I think he waits, looks, you know, can still see, wants to make sure that there's no movement on, at least on this side of the house. And he's just going to do it anyways, even though he likely knows that Xana maybe doesn't know her name, but that there's somebody awake on the second floor in the front of the house, but he knows his victim is on this side of the house. And I think he likely was only looking at lights. He didn't see Kaylee or Madison. He may have changed his mind if he'd seen both of them. But I think the target was Madison. I keep thinking it would be kind of creepy if I had a character kind of walk by the front of the camera, representing Kohberger walking by and then going into the house, you know, right at like 410. Maybe I'll do something like that. I'm going to do another version of this where I put in the house portion where I'm showing different rooms and the trail that law enforcement believes that Kohberger took while he was inside the residence. But this is just the movements of the Elantra. And now during this time he's in the house, and I'm speeding up 10 times speed using this surveillance footage again. So the homicide sped up 10x. And you can see it up there ticking away. And coming up here right around 417 is when you can hear some audio. That's actually closer to 418. You can hear audio from on the 1122 King Road camera of activities close to Xana's room. And then here we are, 4:20 and 5 seconds. And I was thinking, again, I could have a character run by, but I don't know why I'd run by this side of the car, because the driver's side's on the left. 4:20, now he turns his lights on, and he's going to get ready to go here. And he really just hauls out of here. And there he goes. Out to Taylor Avenue. Around to Willanta Drive. And then at 4:21:05, he's seen behind 1119 King Road. And then we see the vehicle driving up here. Now this left at its take, this is where I think it did the U-turn, right here, to go back to check out the DoorDash driver. Alright, but this is the end of the 4 passes. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think it's absolutely amazing that there's this other footage that's out there. I wish they'd put more out, but as you can see, it really locks in everything. That is Brian Kohberger's white Elantra, and what verifies that it is his white Elantra is the fact that his DNA was found on the button snap of a knife sheath that he purchased back in March of 2022. And he also was seen wearing a balaclava by Dylan Mortensen, and he bought one of those in January of 2022. You know, Kohberger apparently is one of the most unlucky people in the world. It's absolutely incredible. All right, everybody, thank you very much for watching. If you could leave a comment in the comment section, let me know what you think. I would really appreciate it. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.